Dave, we're rolling.
Now, can you think of another time when a Penn State defense intimidated a quarterback like that?
I mean, they've had some good moments, but usually when some of James Franklin's best teams, you don't necessarily think of defense. You think of like 16 and 17, you think of the offense. Even 2019, the defense did have their moments, but it was really that running game down the stretch that everyone was talking about with Journey Brown. But this was, you could just tell a couple of things. We talked earlier this week. I didn't think Michael Penix was the same guy because the attrition of all the injuries takes its toll, and he's playing differently. It's mental, but also, I just think that Penn State really. It's only been a year since that game, and that game ruined 2020. It ruined the season. You didn't bounce back from something like that.
And it came down to that pylon stretch, which was disputed and reviewed. Yeah. And he was the guy. Yeah. He was the guy with the freeze frame doing this.
And he was all smiles afterwards.
Are you saying this was a revenge factor?
I'm saying there was a lingering effect, and a lot of players, I think are dying to get a shot at him tonight.
I think it went the other way too, and he hasn't been the same since his ACL. I believe that was the right knee last year against Maryland. Yeah. But I think of Ray and Jerry Maguire when he's in the backseat and says, "Do you know dogs and bees can smell fear?"
Oh, Jerry Maguire reference. Was it Jonathan Lipwicki?
That's right.
Something like that.
And
beautiful.
I think Penn State was like they were like stray dogs looking for meat, man. They were coming at him and wanted to get a shot at him, and finally they did. Brandon Smith crushed his left shoulder in the middle of the third quarter, and that was that. If it hadn't ended with his interception, which was a quail off the back foot with Jesse Luquette in his face.
Sternum, yeah. This is the Penn State's most athletic defense since 2005. I know I've said that before, but you look at some of the guys making plays at all three levels. They got, as the kids say, dudes.
Is that what they say? The kids say that?
PJ Mustipher is a dude. Arnold Ebiketie is a dude. Jesse Luquette is a dude. Brandon Smith is a dude. The corners are dudes. Both safeties are dudes. I'm telling you, everyone's already starting to get excited about Iowa, and they should, because it's going to be a vicious. It's going to be a vicious 60 minutes. But Indiana was never in this game, and I had the feeling that any points they got, they were going to be lucky to get. Penn State made that goal line stand in the first quarter, and I thought after that it was over.
Penix 10 of 22, one interception. It looked like he was just not ever going to stand in there and deliver a ball.
Yeah.
He never got close to doing that, and sometimes the guys weren't even that close to him.
Yeah.
But he was either going to eject or unload, one or the other. And until Brandon Smith got him on a scramble, I mean, that wasn't in the pocket. Now, just so we get to the other stuff, I'm looking at this 220 rushing yards. Have you ever seen a more misleading a team stat in your life?
I mean,
because come on, they cannot run the ball when they need a yard or two, and they showed it again when they down at the goal.
My biggest takeaway from the running game is Noah Cain is not 100%. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's 60%, maybe he's 50%, but 2 years ago when they won at Kinnick Stadium, he was the guy that, on offense, he was the only guy that could get anything going. He had a 100-yard game. They were able to run out the clock late. He was incredible. He started the season pretty good against Wisconsin, made some plays, but he is not healthy.
He clearly is not healthy. He doesn't look like the same guy. And the best runs he made, all of his first two seasons, I thought were the 3- and 5-yard runs at the ends of games, and he doesn't look like even remotely ready to that. I think that's a problem.
Sure.
Playing Iowa.
Yeah.
Kevon Lee looked by far like the best.
Rotate. They run. If anyone who follows the teams, everyone knows, Dave. This is the James Franklin answer. Hey, if anyone follows this team, we go with rotation. Hell or high water, we're going to play 3 guys.
That we also saw
to the detriment of the offense.
Some split back sets, which didn't work with Devin Ford as a blocking back, which didn't work out too well. But Mike Yurcich is clearly searching for some way that they can get more power, in that running attack, and it really.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of these yards were Clifford? 58 net for Clifford.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
this is a mirage.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of mirages going on in the Big Ten. Like, I mean,
Maryland,
the Iowa's got 16 turnovers in 5 games. They got their turnover margin are plus 12.
You don't think that's genuine?
At some point, that offense is going to have to make some plays. Maybe they will next week against Penn State. I think Penn State's the more well-rounded team, and I know that it's a nice home field advantage for Iowa, and we'll talk about this a lot, but I think Penn State is comfortable playing these guys at Kinnick Stadium. They've had success.
They have that.
I think it's gonna be a hell of a game, and it's gonna be about which offense makes the fewest amount of mistakes that's gonna win the game.
I remember a coach who used to say that. I remember several. It's like Woody, Bo, and then Joe.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will find out soon enough. We'll see you in the middle of the week, and I am not going to be going to Iowa City. For reasons we'll tell you.
I'm excited. I'm excited about that news. I'm pretty pumped.
Daniel gets his own hotel room, and he's more pumped than you are. Anyway, until then, from Beaver Stadium, sayonara.